Hello New Zealand, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us. Well, there's a lot of weather around the country at the moment. We've got these big downpours in the north, isolated thunderstorms, and further south around Dunedin they've had a lot of rain and there's a bit more coming before it finally clears up. Let's start off with the animated wind map showing the air pressure, and the low pressure here in purple is clearly showing the system that is affecting us. It's got a low out to the west and one out to the east. This one here though is pulling tropical air down towards Dunedin. That's why you're getting all that rain, and there is another surge which we'll talk about in a moment. The other feature, the secondary area of low pressure, which is much larger than this initial one we've got. That is coming in for the weekend and for next week. So the weather pattern New Zealand has right now, it's with us for another 7 days. This is the Wednesday afternoon setup. This is for today. Look at the next surge of rain coming back to Dunedin. Now the rainfall figures are jumping around. I've seen 10 millimetres at the bottom end, 40 millimetres at the higher end. So anywhere in that range coming back into the Dunedin area. And the reason why there's a little bit of uncertainty, it's such a narrow strip of rain. And so whether Dunedin's right in the middle part of it or on the edges of it, that is what is feeding in today. And at the other end, feeding in from the northwest, more downpours, which means there's another thunderstorm risk. But just like yesterday, compared to other places, it's not extreme for New Zealand, but there is enough of a moderate risk around the North Island that we will see a few thunderstorms, and maybe one or two coming down to the South Island as well. They'll be isolated, hit and miss here and there. This is what we've already seen this morning on the lightning tracker. There have been a few around Northland and a couple around the eastern side of the North Island, and you can see New Zealand's only free and live lightning trackers at the Weather Watch website, thanks to those who run it. This is how we look for Thursday. There is an area of low pressure out to the east. That was the one that was to the west, so it's slowly moving away. So is the rain around Dunedin. It clears up tonight or overnight tonight at the latest. In the north, a couple of downpours will pop up in the afternoon, but it's a much calmer day as that system finally moves away. And one positive for Thursday, hopefully a bit of rain coming into Hawke's Bay. They do need it. To Friday, not much going on, a fairly quiet day, just a few showers lingering around Waited Upper and Hawke's Bay, which I'm pretty sure will be welcomed by most. Maybe a shower lingering in the far north. Otherwise, this is the next feature on its way in. It's going to lift temperatures up as well. It has been a bit colder than average for the last few days around New Zealand. So Saturday looks like this. Now, a lot of people are asking me, what is happening on Saturday? And I'm going to give you the same answer. There's a high chance of dry spells and a high chance of downpours. That is the reality of Saturday's setup. These are the downpours. They're moving down the country like that, in between dry spells and afterwards dry spells. May not be the answer you're looking for when you're trying to lock in your Saturday plans. I've got a friend of mine who's trying to lock in whether they get a marquee or not for a wedding, and I'm the one getting the pressure about it. And I said, look, it's your money, so you know, I don't know if it's a lot of money to have to spend. So I know a lot of other people are certainly in that situation trying to sort out their Saturday plans, and I can tell you a high risk of downpours, but also a chance of dry spells. So that's just the way it's going to be. Elsewhere, the dry spells are going to be more frequent. It's really the upper North Island that's got the highest risk for that wet weather. And by Sunday, that rain moves further out to the east. You've got downpours elsewhere, and it moves down the eastern side with all this northeasterly flow. So that's good for those who need the rain, but if you're sick of it, you're probably not going to be loving that map. And we end on this one where you can see more low pressure drifting in, a bit of rain coming back to the eastern side of the South Island. So we're certainly stuck at the moment in a wetter than average pattern, which will be welcomed by some farmers and growers after a dry couple of months. Now, before I go, if you are interested in how much rain is coming, check out this animation. We've got this one and 3 others on the Weather Watch website and our app. Just go to the news part of it, and you can see this one and a couple of others showing where the predicted rain is going for the next 2 weeks ahead. So it's well worth checking it out. There is a fair bit of low pressure coming for the rest of November, but amongst the rain, there will be dry spells as well. It is not all doom and gloom. It is typical spring. That is all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest.